So it was quite a while ago that I actually bought the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8, and I wanted to give you an updated review on it to let you know how it's held up over time and if it's still worth buying today. It's a 10.5-inch Android tablet that released for $229, and I have actually had this tablet in the possession of my child, and she was just destroying it, putting food all over it. All I had was a tempered glass screen protector on it and a pretty protective case. So you might wonder how it's held up physically, how it's doing as far as the software, and how fast this tablet is even after some usage has occurred. So I'm going to let you know all about this tablet with a full review and give you some of those updates as well. So with all that being said, let's get right into it and let's talk about the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8. So I just have to say, I am very impressed with how this tablet has held up over time. I was expecting some damage to it. Now I did have a really nice case on it. I had a tempered glass screen protector. But this tablet has actually held up outside of some minor scratches around the bezel. When you look at the design of this tablet, it's still in very, very good condition, even when it was in the hands of a child. So I am pretty impressed with that. On the top of the tablet, you do have your power button and up and down on your volume. You also have on the right side of the tablet two speakers, a USB-C port, and you also have a headphone jack, which is really, really cool. At the bottom of the tablet, you do have an SD card slot, and on the other side, of course, you have two speakers as well. So to get those speakers on each side of the tablet, that is really, really nice. I do like that this tablet does have sort of a surround sound effect when you are watching content. That's really nice. I really like the design. I like how it feels very premium, even on the back. This tablet is also really lightweight compared to a lot of other tablets out there. And the price. The price is pretty lightweight as well. It does start at $229. That might not be lightweight to a lot of us who are really looking for a budget tablet because we might not have a lot of money to spare. I do get that, but it is fairly cheap compared to a lot of other tablets out there. And it does go on sale quite a bit. I've seen this tablet frequently around $180. And that's for the 32 gigabyte model with 32 gigabytes of storage. Now, if you want more storage, one bonus is that it comes with more RAM with more storage. So the 32 gig model only has 3 gigabytes of RAM, but if you do bump up to 64 gigabytes of storage, it does come with 4 gigs of RAM. And RAM just is really about how you multitask on your device. A processor is how fast it will go, right? It's just how it will zoom through everything you do. But the RAM really allows you to keep multiple things open at the same time without having to reload them. So you can do one or two things really with the same speed with 3 gigs of RAM or 4 gigs of RAM, but getting that extra RAM may help you multitask a little bit better. So I got the 32 gigabyte model with only 3 gigs of RAM. It's actually done very, very well for me. It still feels pretty fast, but you do have to remember, it's fast compared to other devices for this price. So if I am using this and I open it up, I actually put all my apps on this tablet, and when I went through that process, of course, it's going to be a little slower because a lot of things are happening in the background. So if you wait for that process to be over, you actually go through the menus, you actually go through Android, you will find it's not going to be super, super laggy or slow. But if you are someone who does multitask, you'll have 3, 4, 5, 6 things open in the background very frequently. You're going to get very annoyed with this. If you're someone who has a high-end flagship phone, a lot of you people are going to get very annoyed with this tablet. I am one of those people who has a high-end flagship phone, and even I have to check my expectations. A lot of people watching these tablet reviews, they're going to be very, very different. If you're someone who's used to cheaper Android tablets, this is going to be very similar to the speed and everything that you had in the Tab A7. It's going to be very similar in speed to other tablets around this price point. It's a Unisoc processor. I don't love the processor. It's a Unisoc T618 processor. It's not super fast. It's definitely not my favorite processor out there because if you look at the benchmarks, it's not going to fly through your average everyday stuff. But benchmarks don't really matter if you just do the basics. That's what this tablet is really, really good for. So my daughter used it for YouTube Kids. it's great for kids who just do a few basic things. You have some low-end games, you have some basic stuff that they could play on, it's going to work just fine for them. It's also going to work good for adults who just want to watch a movie. If you just want to watch some basic content on your tablet, maybe you're someone who just wants to scroll the news and occasionally read an article, or maybe you want to read a book. This is going to do very well at one or two things at a time. It's going to be great. But it is very limited. Again, the storage, 32 gigs of storage is a problem for a lot of people. You have to think about games. If you're someone who games on your tablet, a game might take 3, 4, 5 gigabytes in itself. The operating system will take some good space as well on its own. So if you have multiple gigs for the operating system, multiple gigs for a few games, you're already going to have over half your storage taken, and that's without even downloading some basic apps that you might like to use. So if you are someone who downloads a lot of applications, I would recommend either upgrading your storage or maybe you look at another model, something like the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. But still, if you are okay with those limitations, and actually it's faster than I expected it to be, especially after how long I've had this. So it's actually been fairly fast with basic stuff. But whenever you go beyond the basic, that is when this tablet will start to slow down. That's when it will feel very, very slow. So I really have to say, it's really hard to say if it's fast or not. It always depends on the person. It's not fast compared to a $300 or $400 or even a $500 smartphone. A lot of phones are going to be way faster than this. But if you're just doing some basic stuff, you may be surprised that it actually can open it up and it won't take too long to load. So it's just about expectations as far as performance, and as far as the display, it's going to be the same thing because this doesn't have a 90 Hz refresh rate on the screen or a 120 Hz refresh rate. It's a 10.5 inch tablet, so 10.5 inches in size, so it is a smaller tablet compared to some of the bigger ones out there, but it does have a 1920 by 1200 resolution on the screen. So you're not going to have to deal with a 720p screen or anything like that. At least you do get a 1080p screen, but it is a TFT display and the colors feel a little muted if I'm honest. So Lenovo typically has slightly better colors on some of their tablets or some other LCD tablets or IPS screens. You're going to have some other tablets out there that are going to have better screen technology than TFT. So for this price point, I don't love the screen, but I do love how Samsung has supported this tablet. I will say they have done very good with software updates, and at least the screen whenever you're watching content, by the way, I do think it still looks fine. It still looks very, very good. So I do want to make sure I get that point across. It's not the worst screen in the world. Again, it's not 720p. It's not like a very terrible $50 smartphone, okay? It is going to be a decent screen for basic stuff, but I am impressed when you go beyond the screen and you look at the software performance. I'm just very impressed by Samsung and their updates. So I know they don't give as many updates to the Tab A series, but they still have done a really good job at actually keeping this tablet up to date. And I really like the taskbar, for example. This does have that taskbar that you are seeing in other Android tablets, in other higher-end Android tablets. So it is really nice that I can still multitask if I want to go back and forth between some applications. So I do like that this tablet is pretty current as far as software. And outside of the software part, I will say that, well, you're not going to have to expect a whole lot from this tablet, right? You're not going to get super fast charging. You're going to get basic charging speeds like 15 watts, for example. You're not going to get the best speakers in the world, but at least you do have speakers on both sides. That's what this tablet is about. It's for those people out there who are really looking for a basic Android tablet to do basic Android tablet things. Now, some people would say, why would you spend $230 or $180 even on this when you could go buy an iPad? Well, I'm sorry, have you checked the price of an iPad? Do you think all of us just have $150 laying around? I'm sorry, but we don't. I know a lot of us out there, we are struggling. We are in a crazy economy. We can't just afford to go spend an extra $150 on a tablet. So sure, the iPad will have some things that are better. It's going to be faster. But some of us don't like iOS anyway. Some of us don't like Apple products. And if you're one of those people, or you're someone who just wants to save money, what other options do you have in the tablet market around this price? You do have the Lenovo tablet, the M10, the third generation, the full HD version of that tablet. And if you look at that tablet, sure, you might find that tablet a little bit cheaper than this tablet, with about the same performance, with roughly the same type of screen. You're not going to see huge differences between that tablet and this tablet. So look, if you see that Lenovo, that's great, but that Lenovo won't have as good of software support as this Samsung tablet. And I actually just think Samsung is a little more reliable as far as their tablets, and I really think their software is a little more stable. So what else could you get? Well, you could get the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, the 2022 model that is retailing at $350, but I have seen that go on sale for $300 or $280. At its very lowest, it was around $250, but again, that's pretty rare. But even if you see that tablet at $300 or $280, you have to consider that that tablet does have 4 gigs of RAM in the base model. It does come with a stylus. So those things right there, 64 gigs of storage, 4 gigs of RAM, and coming with an S Pen. That is a pretty big deal, because if you were considering this tablet, but let's say you needed a little more storage, you did need that 4 gigs of RAM, or you did need that 64 gigs of storage, then you're going to have to pay an extra $50 typically, and if you're paying retail price, that's $280. Even if it's on sale and you get the 64 gig model here for like $250 or $240 or $230, then maybe you could spend a little bit more and get that Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. That does come with a stylus, which the iPad, by the way, does not come with. So if you get a stylus, you get that extra RAM, you get that extra storage, maybe that Galaxy Tab S6 Lite will be a little bit of a better buy for you. And it will also be faster, which is another real bonus. But outside of that, you're not going to see a huge difference between those tablets. So if you don't need the stylus, you don't need the storage, well, this tablet will do just fine. It will be mostly fast enough. I know it's not as fast, again, as the Tab S6 Lite, but if you just need a tablet for the basics, this is going to be a good tablet for that. But there are other options if you need a little bit more. So would I recommend this tablet? I would recommend it. I would still recommend it today. I'm impressed that this hasn't radically slowed down. I'm impressed that the battery life has actually been pretty decent. No, it doesn't have the biggest battery out of the bunch. It's just a 7,040 milliamp battery, but the processor doesn't require a ton of battery life. It doesn't have a screen that's just sucking all the battery life out of this tablet, right? It doesn't have to deal with those things, so the battery life is very, very good overall. And it's still good even today. I like how it has a headphone jack, it has an SD card slot, so you can increase storage in that way. And this tablet is, again, very good for those people who just want to have something basic to play some low-end games, to really just scroll through a little social media, or maybe you're someone out there who just wants to use your tablet to watch some movies or read some books. If that is you, and if you really want an Android tablet specifically, this is still a very good option for you. But I would tell you that you could typically get this tablet on sale. Check the links in the description. If you get this tablet under $200, that's when I would say this tablet can be a good deal. But I would also tell you to check the storage amount. Make sure 32 gigs of storage is enough for you. If it is enough for you, getting this tablet for around $180 or even $200 is a very, very good deal. At least you have a good tablet to do the basics, and that is the important thing. But if you're someone with higher expectations, and if you're someone who really expects a tablet to do a lot more, remember there are a lot of better higher-end Android tablets out there. You have the OnePlus Pad that retails for about $480. You have the Galaxy Tab S8 that has been going on sale, and if it does go on sale under $600, maybe it's $550 or $600, you have that as an option. You have the Google Pixel tablet that's releasing very, very soon, and maybe it'll be released by the time this video comes out, but that tablet is again around $500. And if you're someone who's okay with the Amazon operating system on a tablet, that tablet does have more limitations, but there is an Amazon Fire tablet, the 11-inch tablet, that did just come out for $230. And that does have a better screen, and it is a little bit faster than this tablet. So there are a lot of great tablets out there and a lot of great competition. But this tablet right here, I do think that it has held up well. I think it's great for kids, and I think it's great for adults who just want a tablet to do basic things on. And if you're okay with that, and if you're just looking for a tablet at a cheaper price, I would still recommend the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8. So hopefully this has helped you out. Hopefully this re-review and re-going over what this tablet can do, hopefully this has actually helped you. Feel free to check the links in the description. That is a great way to support my channel. You could also like this video and sub to my channel. My channel continues to grow, and I'm so grateful for all of your support. And another way that you could support me is to watch some other content. So have have a great day, and I really, really hope you enjoy your week.